When I was 6, my dad took me to see Jurassic Park. It's not exactly a kid-friendly movie, but I don't really remember most of the movie. What I remember is waking up at 2 in the morning with vivid nightmares about being chased around my first-grade classroom by a pack of velociraptors. So I did what anyone with ornithosceletophobia would do. That's a fear of dinosaurs for the well-adjusted moviegoers in the room. And I just internalized that fear. It became who I am. I am a person who is afraid of dinosaurs. I will forevermore be a person who is afraid of dinosaurs. Such certainty, and in one so young. And this uncertainty, it is so orderly that it's easy to lose sight of the chaos underneath. But I'm a game designer, so let's suss this out a little bit with a game, this deal with order and chaos. So in a moment, I'm going to say a series of words and phrases, and you'll respond with either order or chaos, depending on which one you think best describes that word or phrase. Are we ready? Great. Loose threads. Alphabetically organized spice racks. Babies. Adults. The American political system. Pottery. Happiness. Love. Velociraptors. Did someone just yell order? It's over between us, whoever you are. So some of these were probably pretty clear, right? Either order or chaos. And others, maybe there was a little bit of uncertainty, a little flutter of internal chaos, a little tension. And it's not because the situation is chaotic. There's nothing more orderly than a binary choice. The chaos comes in having to simplify something complex into a binary. And that's a lot of what I do as a game designer. I take these complex systems and I turn them into playful, interactive experiences. Games about quantum physics that can be played beyond the natural lifespan of the players and just happen to involve cats wearing scuba gear. Games about Japanese poetry forms like haiku that just happen to be full-contact sports. Games about love where you wake up in the morning from a text message from a stranger and you spend the next week of your life playing out the story of Romeo and Juliet with them, figuring out what intimacy means in a digital world and what it's like to deeply connect with someone who maybe has a very different lifestyle than yours. And games and theater wrapped up into one about chaos theory. And I'll spare you the full story of what got me started thinking about chaos and chaos theory, but spoiler, it starts with 2016 and it ends with Election Day. And this was a day that was so chaotic for so many of us, and that chaos was so heavy. It felt so onerous on us. And so as a game designer, I started thinking, what does it look like to lighten this up a little bit? What does it look like to treat chaos as if it isn't just the end of the world, but maybe there's some opportunity space and some play in there? So I started designing games about chaos, and I quickly realized two things. One, games are incredibly orderly. Games come with rule sets, not 2 boxes of kittens and a bottle of spray paint. And the second thing that I learned is that no matter how orderly a system is, chaos will find a way in. Anyone who's played Monopoly knows this to be true. Anyone who has played Trivial Pursuit with my family knows this to be doubly true. I think my dad got beat at Trivial Pursuit one time, and the whole natural order of the universe collapsed, chaos reigned, and nobody talks to each other for the rest of vacation. And I'm sure some of you are familiar with this from your own family game nights. But it's actually a little bit misleading, because this feeling that we associate with chaos, this feeling that our whole world is ending, that everything is collapsing in on us, is not actually the experience of chaos. What it really is the experience of sliding into an excess of order. Because that's what rules are. Rules are an excess of order. And this can be a little bit scary for us because we associate order with things that we like in the world. And order is actually binaries and hierarchies. Order tells us that there will be a winner to the game. Whereas chaos presupposes nothing at all. Chaos is that open space. And in that open space is where creativity exists, it's where playfulness exists, and it's where growth exists. So chaos is a tool, like any other, but it takes practice to get good at it. And we have to practice with that, otherwise chaos is just this big, sharp, heavy thing in the corner that nobody wants to touch and is a little bit scary. So let's practice. In a moment, we're going to play a game, and the rules are very simple for this game. The game is something that invites just a little bit of chaos into our lives, nothing major. And the game is called, At Any Moment, a Velociraptor Might Enter This Room. So here's what we play. Just take a moment and think to yourselves of one thing that you want to do in life, something that you've wanted to do for a while maybe, something that keeps coming back up in your brain time and time again every couple of days or weeks or months or years. Something that you haven't yet done because something is holding you back, whether it is a fear of failure or a fear of upending your own life as you know it. Does everyone have something? Good. Now imagine that at any moment, a velociraptor might enter this room. You have 5 seconds left before you are devoured. Do you regret not having done that thing? And if there is just one thing that you want to do in your life that you haven't yet done because you are afraid that it will disrupt your life, then congratulations, you crave chaos. And this is actually kind of terrifying, this idea that we human beings, orderly creatures that we are, might crave chaos. And this is why play is important, because play bridges that gap. The things that are so scary to us about chaos in our real lives are the things that are so appealing and lovely about games, which is that we don't know what will happen next. We don't know where our choices will lead us. If we did, it wouldn't be play so much as fulfilling a prophecy. Play is only possible in the face of uncertainty. And yet, when we find ourselves in uncertain situations in our lives, we almost never respond to those moments with, "Yay, time to play." Instead, we double down on order, even if we know that this order isn't suiting us anymore. Even if we know that the time has come to pass that order aside, because it's safe over there and it's familiar. And if we have to live in that uncertainty instead, what does that mean for us? And by choosing order and not letting ourselves sit in uncertainty, we deny ourselves the space and the opportunity to be creative and to be brilliant and to let our own innate sense of self really come through into the world. The deepest uncertainties of our lives, our life paths, our relationships to our friends and family, politics, climate change, the things that might benefit the most from a light touch are the things that we tend to respond to with the greatest seriousness. And this has serious repercussions in the world. And delightful and brilliant though we all are, we're probably not going to solve all of those things today, but we can take a look at some individual chaos and what that looks like, because embracing chaos is a process. And there are some things that I want to do in life that I haven't done because I am afraid. And one of the things that I want to do is I want to just cut all of my hair off. And this is something that I take way too seriously. So I keep making excuses not to do it. Like, I am 4 inches away from having hair long enough to spike into the world's tallest spike mohawk. We're talking Guinness Book of World Records. I also wrap it around my face in the morning, and then I can get a little bit more sleep. I already stocked up on a year's worth of conditioner. And these are not bad excuses as far as excuses go, but they are still excuses. And they mask the underlying chaos, which is that I don't really care about being in the Guinness Book of World Records. I'm just afraid. I'm afraid that if I get rid of this orderly thing that's been a part of my life for 10 years, that I have a routine with, that I won't know who I am anymore, that I will become invisible to myself and to others. But embracing chaos is a process. We don't have to go from 0 to 100 in one day. But in my case, it would be from 44 to 0. So I don't have to go from 44 to 0 in one day, but maybe I could go from 44 to 20. And let's find out. So when I woke up this morning, I wasn't sure I was going to do this. Much to everyone here's dismay, I was like, I don't know, should I do it? But even though sometimes you feel like maybe it's not the right moment, I've had a year and a half of knowing I've wanted to do this to find the right moment. So I think that the right moment is the moment that we choose. Thank you. Oh. So, thank you. So I can now say with complete confidence that from the bottom of my heart, my advice to you is this. When you feel that flutter in your chest that tells you that chaos is present, don't just default to order every time. Listen to that flutter and take the first steps towards inviting chaos into your own life. Thank you.